Hey, friends. My name is Linda Moon, and I'm the director of Grow Kids Curriculum.
And I am Kelly Gentry, the manager of community engagement. Welcome to the Grow Curriculum Deep Dive for our second series in Grow Kids Volume 7 called Lead the Way, which is a 4-week series from Exodus about Moses.
Yay! We are so excited to talk about this series with you. If you are new to these deep dives, our goal is to give you a head start in preparing for the series, especially if you're a Grow user and you're following our recommended scope and sequence. But even if you are not a Grow user, we are still so glad you're here. Feel free to steal some of these ideas and make them work for you.
Yes. Over the next few minutes, Linda and I are going to give you a big picture view of what you can expect during this series, as well as a detailed, in depth look at some of the specifics that we do not want you to miss because they are wonderful. First, we are going to give you an overview of the Bible stories and the big ideas for the month. Then we'll take a look at the theme of the series to give you some decorating ideas. And then finally, we will go over the specific special features this series has to offer so that you will have absolutely everything you need to get started.
In week 1 of Lead the Way, kids learn from Exodus 2 and 3 about the story of Moses' birth, why he had to flee from Egypt, and how God spoke to him through a burning, not so burning bush many years later. Moses had tried to help and lead his people previously, and it did not work out at all. And now God was showing him a different way to lead. That's why this week's big idea is God teaches us how to lead.
In week 2, we look at the 10 plagues and the Passover in Exodus chapter 7 through 12. The Bible shows that God's people were protected throughout each of the plagues while Pharaoh refused to let them leave Egypt and were especially spared from the worst and final plague of the firstborn. Pharaoh stubbornly defied God, but these scripture passages remind us that the wiser choice is when we follow God's lead.
And now we're on week 3, where we turn to Exodus chapters 13 through 15 to talk about the escape from Egypt and the crossing of the Red Sea. So, not only did God, through Moses and Aaron, lead the people out of Egypt, God guided them through pillars of cloud and fire, and even through a body of water as Pharaoh and his army chased them. Kids will dive deeper, no pun intended, about what it means to be safe in this week's teaching through this week's big idea. God leads us to safety.
Finally, in week 4, we are in Exodus 15 and 16, the stories of how God provided manna and quail and water as the Israelites began their trek across the wilderness. As God's people started their journey, they were unsure how they would make it out there, especially without a stable and reliable food source. But God took care of their most basic needs, which is why this week's big idea is God will lead us to what we need.
And this month's memory verse is short and sweet and to the point of what we're talking about. It's from Psalm 25:4, and it says, "Show me your ways, Lord. Teach me your paths." All right, it's time to talk about the theme. This month's decorating theme is jungle adventure. And unless you're Bear Grylls, you're gonna need someone to lead you around a jungle. So, speaking of leading us around the jungle, Kelly, please tell us how to jungle up our ministry spaces for Lead the Way.
Yes, so here we go. This month is going to be wild. First up, props. There are so many props that you can use for this jungle adventure. I always recommend posting on social media and sending out an email to your families asking if anyone might have the perfect thing that you need to borrow, right? Like this shirt. Linda, I'm going to wear this shirt every single week, and it's borrowed because it's my husband's.
I'm so excited for you. We all need a shirt like that this
We
month.
do. It also has my kids' faces on it, which is exciting. But if you are looking for other ideas that you can borrow, we have them for you. First up, wooden crates will be all the rage in this series. You can use them to stack, to pack, to carry items on your jungle trek. You can check out this affordable 3-pack on Amazon that we have linked in your environment guide. The other options to decorate your space on a budget are vines, fake flowers, and even animal patterned tablecloths. We provide the links for you in the environment guide, but also check out your local Dollar Tree, which is one of my favorite places to shop. Linda, how about you?
Mhm. Oh my goodness, Dollar Tree has gems and treasures, so that can be part of your jungle adventure, just going to Dollar Tree and looking for those hidden treasures.
Absolutely. Trek through those aisles. You cannot move through the jungle, though, without proper clothing. I personally love dressing up, as you can see, and always have a reason to buy an outfit, like my earrings. So, check out these adorable safari hats and vest. They are perfect for all the kids and the adults in your ministry. You can also grab a safari party set from Amazon. And this is just a really fun way to reward kids for memorizing the monthly verse or even celebrating birthdays this month that might be happening in your ministry. Remember, the theme for this series is jungle adventure because we're talking about the Israelites escaping Egypt. And so, even our snack ideas reflect the Bible stories. From eating through the plagues to building your own version of manna, we have tons of yummy ideas in there ready for you to explore.
I'm not sure how I feel about eating my way through some of these plates because some of them sound absolutely disgusting, but I'm sure the ideas that we have recommended are going to be yummier than they look. Thank you, Kelly, for sharing all of those amazing ideas with us. And don't forget also to check out the environment guide that is provided for you in your resource folder so you can get even more ideas about how to theme up your space. So, we gave you an overview of the series as well as a look into how to theme up your ministry space. So, now it's time to talk about some of the amazing features of Lead the Way. If you've been using Grow for a while, you know that there are some things that stay the same, like the structure of our teaching is always broken up into three sections, which is the what section, the so what section, and the now what section. And each of those sections are very specific to the goal of what we're doing. So, the what section is mostly for introducing kids, welcoming them into the space, and doing some fun icebreaker type things that help kids kind of guess what we're talking about today and set them up nicely for the Bible story. And the so what section is where you get to share that Bible story. We even have a secondary scripture that further helps support the big idea you will reveal also in this section. We have activities, object lessons, and other fun stuff that you can use, including our teaching videos. And then in the now what section, we have the application portion. So this is where kids get to further reflect and think about everything they learned and maybe develop some action steps that they can take as they go home and further think about the big idea in the Bible story.
That basic structure stays the same every time, but each series uses a combination of what we call building blocks, like activities, videos, reflections, responses, and even more to help make your kids understand what we're talking about, make it stick, and teach the material in a really fun and exciting way. Each series does something different with the building blocks, which always keeps us on our toes and keeps us engaged. So, Linda, which feature of Lead the Way do you want to talk about first?
I want to begin with our video building blocks. So, I grew up in the days of flannel graph Sunday school. Maybe you remember, which honestly, in retrospect, were kind of cool, felt pieces sticking on more felt. And but, like, it's the kids these days, I mean, it's gonna make us all sound very old and bitter, but the kids in our ministries currently are gonna need different modalities to engage them, and we're not saying that they all must be digital, but this is a nice supplemental tool that you can use in your ministry. You know this already. So that's why every so often we recommend supplementing your teaching with a video clip, whether it's from a movie or just something funny on YouTube. They might just help engage kids even further. So in Lead the Way, we're suggesting clips from Raya and the Last Dragon. Fun side note, the theme song for Raya and the Last Dragon is called Lead the Way, coincidentally enough.
Ah,
We have some clips from Jungle Cruise, Jumanji, the original, and of course, the Jungle Book. These are completely optional, of course, but they're bound to capture your attention and also the attentions of your leaders. And don't forget also, we provide teaching videos, Press Play for elementary, and Callie's World for preschool that further engage with the Bible story and big idea. What about you, Kelly? What are some things that you would like to draw our attention to in this series?
Yeah. So there are so many cool features within the preschool track of Grow Kids. So some of the things that I want to highlight are the structure. Each preschool lesson has welcome time, story time, sharing time, and playtime. All are sure to be favorites of your preschool kids and the adults that lead them. For preschoolers, we also have hand motions for the big ideas. We have an adorable friend named Callie who takes our preschool friends into the Bible story every single week. Callie's World has such a fun theme song. We have additional craft ideas, and we also have sensory and free play ideas that bigger kids would enjoy as well. So even if you are specifically looking at the elementary track, make sure to take a peek at the preschool track also, because sometimes those bigger kids like the little kids stuff as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I remember my preteens were more enamored with Callie's World than some of my little kids were. Was a fun, delightful surprise, and there are some activities that seem like they're geared for preschool, but they're, like, just easy little tweaks you can make them work for older kids as well, so be sure to check out more because, more ideas, the more things you can fiddle around with as you prepare. Back to the elementary, however, speaking of crafts, Kelly mentioned them for elementary, for preschool, sorry. We also provide a craft a week in each of our series, and that usually happens during the small group activity time. So that's in your curriculum, that's like the last activity you see. We usually recommend an activity that can be done in small groups for that section, like a craft or maybe a printable, that's easier to manage with fewer kids. So these activities are designed to help kids take something home or experience something that will help them remember what they learned. So in Lead the Way, in week 1, they're making a jungle journal. How fun is that? In week 2, they're making a Rooted in God pencil holder, which I think will be just super helpful, especially in September as kids are going back to school. They'll need a place to put all their pencils. In week 3, we're doing a point to safety compass experiment. Kids love playing with magnetic things, so this will be really fun. And lastly, for week 4, we're doing a layers of needs craft, which I think is super exciting. And we do have printables provided that you can use specifically for this craft. Kelly, tell us one more thing that our users absolutely must know as they teach Lead the Way next month.
Yeah. So we've talked about preschool, we've talked about elementary, but if your church also happens to use Grow Students, this series specifically aligns with the Grow Student series called Beyond Belief.
Yay.
This is a great time for you to highlight preschool, elementary, middle school, and high school all being in sync with each other. And it's a really great opportunity for your church to see how your family ministry or your next gen ministry all work together when they are synced for this particular month series.
Yeah, this might be a great time to also get big church in on this schedule, like get your adult ministry to follow this scope and sequence as well, and then everyone will be learning the same thing. How amazing. Okay, so excited about everything that we shared. Unfortunately, that is a wrap for today's deep dive for Lead the Way, but we are so excited that we got to share all of this with you. Please let us know in the comments or contact us if you would like to see more on these deep dives or something you really appreciated, because as you know, we love hearing from you. So please tag us also in your Instagram posts, in your stories. You can find us at Stuff You Can Use. You can also post in our Facebook group, search for Stuff You Can Use, a children's ministry community. Thanks for being here. We love you guys. Have a wonderful Lead the Way month, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.